What's up, Bills fans? Oh, man, I'm relentless. I won't stop till this piece of shit is out of Buffalo, and I have to I have to keep going here, and I need more positive feedback. We don't want Dick Jauron as the coach, do we? Do we? Hell no. I know I don't. I know the rest of you don't. I hear you guys all day, all week on the radio. Come on. But this video is for two reasons. One, well, actually three. The ultimate goal, Jauron gone. First one, because I don't want to waste their time. Bears fans or your time, Bills fans. You know, you could always tell me to whatever, shut the fuck up anytime you want. But Bears fans, Jauron was your coach for 5 years. Now, I was curious what your opinion of Dick Jauron was as the Bears coach. What was he like on game day? What was he most criticized for in the Chicago media? Because the Chicago media, let's be honest, is a lot bigger than the greater Buffalo Bill, Niagara Falls, Buffalo area in New York. What was he like on game day? What was he most criticized for? How was his use of timeouts, challenge situations? What was his competence level on game day? And what was your opinion of him as the Bears coach? I know he had the 13-3 season, but he was also one and done in the playoffs. 1933 loss to the Eagles, so obviously not a good thing. But outside of that, he was pretty bad as the Bears coach. As I remember, they didn't have a winning record outside of that. So I just was curious what your opinion was about Dick Jauron. Now, and thanks for your time if you take the time to answer. On to the thing I wanted to play for you Bills fans. I was just curious if you want to laugh, because I shook my head in disbelief. You know who John Clayton is, right? He reports football, NFL news on ESPN all the time. He's on tons of syndicated ESPN radio shows. Does a lot of stuff on ESPN. Listening to Mike Schopp and the Bulldog on WGR in Rochester, and this is what he says about Dick Jauron in Buffalo and about his 3-year contract extension. The organization hasn't announced it. We don't know if he is. We don't want him as the head coach. He's a 7-9 coach. That's what he is. That's what the guy is, and that's what we're going to get as him as the coach. But this is what he said when asked about his opinion of Dick Jauron as the coach.
Does the team have any responsibility to announce it? Apparently it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. No, they don't. It's one of those things that they announce things on their own term, and I think people in Buffalo like Dick Jauron. I think the fans like Dick Jauron. I think there's no doubt the players like Dick Jauron. And to me, if there's a positive story and a positive thing like that, first thing you want to do is go out and announce it. We were on the air the day that Lee Evans signed his contract extension.
Okay. You even heard the host go, who? Because this is a guy who's obviously more in touch with what's going on in Buffalo and has a greater feel of the nerve of the everyday Bill fan like you, like myself. What the hell is he talking about? I even heard the radio host go, woo! I think that was actually Mike Schopp who did. Whoa. But that just baffled me. That was pretty bad. But some numbers, Bills fans. Just so you know what we were getting as the head coach when he came from Chicago. I wanted to throw some numbers at you because I think it's rather interesting. Just the average overall from year one to season 1 to season 5. And then I'll give you what he's doing in Buffalo currently. The average ranked offense as Dick Jauron as the head coach, points 23rd, yards 23rd. Gonna win a lot of games doing that. Dick Jauron's a defensive guy, right? Great defensive mind, came from Jacksonville, blah blah blah. And mind you, they ranked first one year in points allowed. This is with that one. This is including that ranking. This is how far it was brought down. Average ranked defense with Dick Jauron as head coach of the Bears. 18th in points allowed, 19th in yards. Obviously, he was employing the same, bend but don't break philosophy. Average in takeaway giveaway ratio in the league. 19th. Obviously finishing on the negative side, now in Buffalo, with almost 3 seasons completed. This is what he's doing in Buffalo. His average offensive rank in Buffalo, 24th in points, 28th in yards. Okay. That's significant change, like we heard, significant change. The defense, slightly better, because it ultimately comes down to points. 14th in points allowed, 21st in yards allowed. So basically let the team move up and down the field in between the 30s, 25s, kick field goals, and try to limit them to a touchdown a game. Okay, and 19th in turnovers, same numbers in Chicago. So I don't know, do these numbers sound similar to you Bills fans? Oh, by the way, his average record in Chicago, 7-9. This is what we were getting, and you know what? He's pretty much delivered on what he did in Chicago. So I don't understand how a guy who's supposedly an NFL expert says that. When did mediocrity and being average get rewarded as a head coach in the NFL? When did a guy with a sub 500 record all of a sudden become a coach of a team that needed improvement? I just don't get it. How do you sell this guy to your fan base? How do you give this guy a new 3-year deal? How do you sell that to us, the consumer, the ones who, me and you, who buy tickets, buy NFL Sunday ticket, buy the jerseys, buy the hats, bump up the TV ratings? How do you sell this to us as the head coach? I don't know. And it's got to stop. And I think us as Bill fans have got to send a message. That's the only place it's going to come from. It's the only way anybody there is going to hear it. Because this guy is a subpar coach. His record proves it. The numbers prove it. And that's all there is to it. Thanks, Bills fans. I really appreciate you listening to me bitch and moan, but this guy's got to go. And just the icing on the cake was even worse. I also heard during the same program that apparently the Browns have already contacted Bill Cowher and have, expressed interest in him coaching the team. So why isn't Buffalo talking to Bill Cowher? Don't you want to bring in a winner? Don't you want to bring in a guy who has a proven track record as a winner, has won somewhere else, has shown that he's done positive things? I mean, that the 13-3 season was obviously an aberration, a fluke. It just wasn't. It's not indicative of what the guy is. So I don't get it. I really don't. I don't understand why they're not trying to talk to a guy like that. I don't understand why they're not trying to, at least show their fan base that they care. But alright, Bills fans, you guys take care. Hopefully we can get a win in KC this Sunday. And if any of you Bear fans respond to this about Dick Jauron and what he was like on game day, what he was most criticized for in Chicago, I really, really appreciate it. And your opinion of him. Thanks again, everybody, for listening to me moan, but we got to get him out of Buffalo. Thanks, guys.